Yeah.
Just gonna send this over to a couple people, get them in here, make sure our audio sounds good on the output. Does it sound good to you, Nelson?
Radio check 1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
It sounds good, man.
Cool. All right. Well, we're recording, so we can upload this later as well. How's everyone doing? I think we're going to talk a little bit about the Piers Morgan Fuentes conversation first. There was some good stuff there. I think we already have different takes on it because Silver thought Nick, kind of. It sounded like. Speak for yourself. What do you think?
It's very entertaining, very funny, and at least my algorithm. Well, no, it wasn't my algorithm. On Piers Morgan's official Twitter post, he was getting completely roasted. Like I'm talking about, like everyone. I didn't see one pro comment or Piers Morgan comment. It was on his own channel. He was like getting completely destroyed. So he looked like he just looked. He came across like a gotcha leftist. He is kind of that anyway. But he was just a goofball. Like Nick completely destroyed him.
You really
I
think
don't think
so?
he got destroyed. I think that where I do agree with you a little bit that he did look like a little bit of a gotcha. I think that it needed an extreme measure. Like he needed to be Nick needed to in comparison to all these other interviews that have been coming out. I think that Nick just needed to be put to the fire a little bit, and I think Pierce did a good job of that. I mean, I think that ultimately there's a lot of people out there that don't know the stances that Nick Fuentes has, and I think that Pierce demanded that he express a sentiment.
But that's not. But that's not what happened. That's not what Nick did. So I watched because I watched leading. I knew that was coming because he had announced that a while back. So just so you know,
Mm,
I don't watch Nick's show at all. I just watch his interviews. So I
yeah,
watched him on Bradley Martin. I watched him on Steven Crowder, and I've watched him on a few others. Right. Um, Leading up to that, he knew what that was going to be. So like he didn't. He went into it strictly just to make a mockery of the whole situation, and that's what he achieved. So Piers Morgan was trying to get
I
him
don't
to be
think so.
serious, and he didn't. He said he was. If you watch the other interviews, he said he was going to
No,
be.
I'm just saying I didn't like as a viewer, I didn't see as an unbiased viewer, like that's not like a fan of either one of them really. I just didn't see it that way. I just saw like I I don't
So
know. I saw some go ahead.
generally, I think Piers. I guess we could talk about this. I think Piers tends to lean, at least in who he defends, a little bit more right. Obviously, he's been a fan of Trump in the past, done a lot of interviews with him, supported him. I guess less so now with some of the policies that he disagrees with him on. But I think Piers was just fair. I mean, he wasn't. There was a lot, not that much moralizing. It was a lot of just like, okay, just be honest with us. Are you racist? What's your position on this? What's that? And then move on. He just wanted to like air out his actual views and then move on. He wasn't like sitting here like some, hardcore, feminist or whatever, being like, how dare you say these terrible things about women? I mean, he did like, a couple seconds of that, but the vast majority was, listen, man, if you want to be racist, more power to you. It's a free country. You're allowed to,
To
but just be honest about it.
to my point that I'm talking about. So like my favorite part was when he goes, I don't have any Jewish friends that use the Holocaust as a way to like what did he say? I can't remember what he said. Whatever the verbiage he used it as a crutch, and then immediately had a minute long clip of a Jewish guy using the Holocaust as a crutch to sell a book. Like, and Nick Fuentes in the little screen was like laughing his ass off. Like he baited him
Well,
with it, dude. Like the whole thing he was like, oh, I don't think 6 million people died. I think it was 7, maybe 10. Like he was making a mockery of the whole thing, dude. It was a complete joke. He knew he was. It was he. If you watch Crowder and stuff, and the other one, he told everybody what he was going to do, and he did it. And he made Pierce look like a goofball, like an out of touch goofball.
I just think like I don't know. I completely disagree. Like Piers was not. He wasn't emotional. There were a couple times where he like raised his voice, but he's just like this unemotional, not amused British guy who's just asking him the same question over and over to get an answer. Like I don't know. I think that's
Dude,
the perfect foil for Nick though. Like because it forces him to actually out with what his actual views are. And if Nick wants to sit there and troll and make like epic memes instead of like actually answering the question, I think that looks bad on him, especially when like I'll admit he had some bangers when Piers was like, how could you, how dare you make a mockery of such a terrible thing? And Nick's like, oh, what, too soon? Like
That was good.
That was
That
good.
was good.
I mean, I'll give it to him.
I
Like the
like
guy's funny.
well
I won't say
from
otherwise. But
from the perspective of watching it though, in just terms of like viewership, like you're not going into it trying to be on a team. I didn't care like who got the better of who in the situation really. I just think that like as a regular viewer, if you don't know anything about Nick Fuentes, you're gonna leave that interview thinking that he's a racist piece of
a
trash.
hundred
And I think
percent.
that I do think that it wasn't Pierce's goal to say, hey, look at this racist piece of trash. I think Pierce's goal was, are you a racist piece of trash? And I like, but like Dylan said, there were some points where Nick Fuentes, he was, I mean, he wasn't a bad interviewee. But then like when Pierce said like you could be the Pope, bro, like you've never even
That
been
was
with a girl,
fucking funny
that
too.
was
Oh,
hilarious
you're
too. You know
celibate.
what
You
I
could be
mean?
the Pope. Was a banger as
Yeah, dude,
well.
that was ill. And he's right. Pierce is right. Like you can say he's out of touch, but he's right about a lot of stuff, man. Like you probably are the way that you are. And then Nick said, how am I? But like you are probably the way that you are largely due to the fact that you've never been with a woman, you've never been in love with a woman, you don't really have that as a goal. And I think that most men operate in the lane of like I want to have a family. I want to structure my life out. And I don't know. I just
Well,
think
it's
that
funny if
it's
you look. I was watching a conversation that he had. This is kind of a sidetrack, but Nick Fuentes has like such a strange definition of sexuality, which I think a lot of people do. But he says that sexuality is who you sleep with. So if you're a straight person and you sleep with a guy, even if you didn't enjoy it, then you're gay. And if you're a straight person and you don't have sex with anyone, then you're asexual. And if you're like a gay person who is attracted to dudes but has like a wife, then that makes you straight. He's just got some weird fucking takes on that, man. I don't know.
And he's a weird incel. I don't. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't agree with what I don't. I'm not. It's not. I'm not even taking the stance of like I'm on his side. I think he's very entertaining, and I enjoy watching him in the same way that Destiny's entertaining
yes,
to me. And I enjoy watching him. That's to
yeah.
me. It's
Well,
the same thing. It's not. It's It's
for
yeah,
all
sure.
entertainment.
Do
I
you not
agree.
think that there's any kind of danger to that though? Like that there's any
No,
kind of danger with somebody like that? I disagree, man. To young impressionable men out there, I think that that's a dangerous mindset,
I
and
don't
that's why
think.
I'm thankful for Pierce doing what Pierce did because there was probably a lot of 18, 19, 20-year-old kids out there that didn't realize, hey, he also believes in all of these things, and he did openly say him on the interview, which I'm thankful for. But I agree with you, he's entertaining. If you look at him as a source of
There, I think that that's a
entertainment,
danger.
there's nothing wrong with that. I
So
mean,
let me ask you this: Have you seen American History X?
mhm.
Is that bad for the youth?
Is
Is it
it bad for the youth?
like GTA? Is GTA 5 bad for the youth? I mean,
No,
that's
dude. Like, all right, so I get where you're going with that, but like if you're it's different, bro, because people don't attach themselves to storylines they as much as they attach themselves to a character that they can identify with. So rather than like as GTA 5 or it would be more like the characters that are in it, are they bad for the youth? And I don't think that the youth really finds themselves connecting to those characters as
Well,
much as they would
I
to a
think the
Nick
other
Fuentes.
thing is there are certain things that are bad, but that are acceptable with the right context. Like I think platforming Nick Fuentes is not necessarily harmful as long as he has an
No.
appropriate foil. Like when you have Piers Morgan forcing him to properly contextualize a lot of the things he's saying, then it becomes a lot less harmful than when you have somebody. I don't know if you watched Steven Crowder, but when you have someone like Steven Crowder who's just sitting there asking him yes or no questions um,
he kind of did the same
with
thing,
no
but it was
context.
more friendly. No, it was the same thing. It was just more friendly.
No, but so here's the thing is if I say like, do you think black people are superior to white or white people are superior to black people? You can say no, but your reason for saying no is the core thing, right? He can say like in Nick's mind, it might be the case that, oh, well, black people are superior when it comes to physical stuff, you know, and white people are superior when it comes to not being violent criminals, right? Like he could get out on a technicality and technically say no, but in reality, what we're talking about is like he's kind of racist if we're using the conventional definition, but it just lets him scoot off without having to actually go into detail about the problems with his views.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think his whole overarching point. First of all, his lens is based on Chicago. Or
Yeah.
yeah, Chicago, right? So
For
that's.
sure.
I mean, his worldview is completely different than ours. We don't have any idea of what it's like to be over there, right? So he's got a different worldview and he's had different experiences. So there's that.
I mean,
but moreover, like I think like to go back to like the character in Bad for People, and so Nelson, your favorite rapper is 50 Cent. Like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like people don't identify with that hood mentality. Like, what are we doing? Like that. So he's kind of like that, but also makes a mockery of the fact that like if a black person says all the things that he says, nobody bats an eye. But when a white guy does it, all hell breaks loose. And that's kind of his point overall. Like even no matter what the topic is, he says the thing that you're not supposed to say as a white person.
Mm-hmm.
That's his whole thing. So like,
Well, can I pause you right there about 50? Like, that's a good example to bring up, actually. But if because I idolized 50 Cent growing up. So if I idolized 50 Cent because of his story and overcoming his story, I still recognize him for what he is, which is a rapper, right? So are we saying here that Nick Fuentes, and this is just a question, a genuine question, like, is Nick Fuentes an entertainer or is he gearing up to be a politician?
That,
both.
well, I think a lot of the problem with modern political commentary is people really try to like play it both ways, where they can say all these crazy edgy things as like an entertainer, but then also want the political side of it as well, right? Like
What
all
is
these
Trump?
comedians and stuff.
What is Trump? Is he an entertainer? Or is he a politician?
I mean,
What is
I think he's more of an entertainer, to be honest. Like or at least the way he acts. I don't think he really
right?
cares about the
And
politics of
that's
anything as much
and
as he
that's
cares about the entertainment aspect
and
and
that's Nelson's
ratings.
or not Nelson. That's Nick's mentor or not mentor, but his hero. So it's like I mean, if you like Trump, you got to like Nick in the same way. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like that's
I think the
he's
problem
a more
is
I don't know.
I think there's value in like being edgy in a sense and calling out the things
Trump
that you're
doesn't
not
share
allowed
a
to
lot of the
say.
same ideology.
But well, yeah, I don't know about that. But
He
the problem
doesn't.
is that just because you're not allowed to say it doesn't make it true. Also, like I think a lot of people have this mentality where
True.
it's like somebody gets mad at something they say, therefore, oh, it must be true. Like you got mad that I called you blah blah blah, so you must actually be a cuck or something. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
like,
I do want to say I appreciate Nick for exercising free speech. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh man, I can't believe he said that. He should never say that. Like that's more of a liberal ideology. But I do think that there's I don't know, man. There's like a I almost wish that he would just come flat out and say what is it? This is what I would ask him. What is it that you, if you were in office and you ran this country, what is it that you would propose that we do about segregation, even amongst Americans? Because I would want to know his answer, and that's what nobody
he's
seems to be
answered.
able to get out of him.
Yeah, yeah. If you go watch the Hodge twins interview, he's been there twice. If you watch his, he was on Jake Shields' podcast. He did. I mean, these answers have all been. If you watch it, like his content in long form, he's answered all that. That's what I'm
Well,
saying. He's
what is
not.
it?
I don't
What is his
remember.
plan? Do you know?
He
I mean,
doesn't. He's not.
I want to know because like
the
I
thing
mean,
I
you can't
admire.
just tell black people they got to go over here and tell white
Well,
people that it's okay to be over here. What if there's a white person to the creed of like the people that marry interracially? What about those people? Like, does my wife have to leave my side because
so there's a couple.
It's
it's
not
just
that
a
serious
weird.
for him. It's not
Well,
that serious for him. Like he doesn't
Okay.
he gets very again a lot of that's because when he got deplatformed, like he was literally on like nothing, right? So he was doing a lot of shock and awe content as if he was still on Xbox Live. That was his whole thing was he was doing like really raunchy political takes, and so he had a small group of people that really liked it from like playing Call of Duty on. He was a streamer, like a video game guy at first, and so he was just talking
All
shit
right.
to people on game and then also about politics simultaneously. And this is like his origin story. So he kind of just kept it moving like that because so many people thought it was so hilarious. But there is some truth, like a line of truth throughout all of his like crazy rants. He does have pretty wild beliefs, but I think that's healthy in the sense that it gets people like us talking about it. Same thing that Kanye did. Kanye said some wild shit, like George Bush hates black people and all that. Like it just gets people talking.
So
But to
here's a
me,
question. You have a daughters?
three.
3? Okay. Would you How would you feel if one of your daughters brought home like an ardent Fuentes supporter who like thinks they shouldn't be able to vote, the whole shebang?
They'd have a hard time with my daughters. I mean, it'd be interesting to watch play out. So because I learned this was one of the questions I was going to ask you, Dylan. So that's a good. I'll let you answer the question. So your daughter is 16, and she wants to start dating a dude that's turning 18 in 2 weeks. Nelson, you can answer this too. What do you do,
No.
Dylan?
Daughter is 16, wants to date a dude that's turning 18.
This actually happened to me, so I'm curious to see what you'd say
Well,
because
well,
it applies
my
to this
initial,
too.
my initial response would be no. But like, what do you like? Is she adamant? Is she in love? Like, do you know the guy?
I was gonna say I think it would depend on the guy heavily as
Yeah,
well. Um,
because you got to
gen-
remember, my oldest is 12,
yeah,
so I'm
generally
not
I would
quite there
hope that
yet.
like at six by the point of 16 I would have taught them well enough to like have a radar and
Or
know if there's like some sketchball who's trying to take advantage of them. But I would have to
What?
see for myself depending on the dude. But
So
generally, I would skew towards it's probably okay. But if it's a sketchy guy who obviously seems like he's trying to take advantage, then we would have huge problems.
just so you know, every guy's going to seem like that to you, right? So like
right.
just
Yeah, but
understand that.
That's what I was about to
the thing
say
is,
too.
I've been that guy. Like, some dumb fuck 17-year-old, soon to be 18-year-old, is not clever enough to fool. Like, I feel like one of us, or they shouldn't be.
So
I was
he
a pretty
was.
clever 17-year-old dude.
Do you think that,
I,
bro? Bro, I thought I was clever at 17, and fucking my mom saw through that shit constantly,
I
bro.
so here's Nelson.
Mine-
This applies to you more so than Dylan. Obviously, Dylan doesn't have kids, but in my life, the women, the girls I've been around, when the
mhm,
parents said no, they did the opposite every single time.
fair.
So I didn't. I wasn't going to do that, and so I sat him down and I said I do not condone this at all. So legally, I do not condone this. I was like, but you're going to do what you want to do, and so I sat him down. We had a good conversation for an hour. He ended up being he ended up shipping off the military and being a Marine, and he ended up being like a very troubled individual. But so it didn't work out. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's the same thing with if they brought home a supporter of Nick's. Like I don't.
Well, I mean,
As
how
long
would
as
you
he's a good
feel
person,
about it? Would you like approve of that? Would you be
I,
thrilled?
I would want to know why he was a supporter of Nick personally, and
Yeah.
if
Well, that's why I said
in
like an
like
ardent supporter who believes, buys everything.
But what is that? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, with what Silver is telling us right now, like, he doesn't even believe in the fluff, and it's not even really a thing to him, and it's not that important to him. I guess my further question in all of this is, who is Nick Fuentes, and why does he matter all of a sudden? Because whether you love him or hate him, he's being thrown in our direction from every which way, which is a step in the act of the
well,
political game, right?
he's been huge for a while though. So everybody thinks he's big now, but he's been huge for like
For
going on
sure.
6 years.
For sure, but he's way bigger now. Now that Charlie Kirk has passed away, there's a lot more eyes on him because of the comparisons and because of all these interviews.
So
And
yeah,
I,
in my
I
algorithm, he was
mean,
big already. So I think it depends on your algorithm because he was already huge. In my algorithm, he was always in it, always because he had gone viral
all right, fair
But
many,
enough.
many, many
but
times.
But once you get to a certain level of big, like my algorithm before I started doing YouTube, my algorithm was basketball and rap. That's it. There was no political anything in my algorithm. Nick
Right.
Fuentes is even in that algorithm today. He's in
well,
everybody's algorithm.
you also have to think along there are certain creators you talk about like Destiny, Nick Fuentes, Asmongold, like a lot of these people who appeal to younger men have like extremely online fan bases. So
Right.
it's
Right.
disproportionate representation, right? You talk about Piers's comments, and of course, bro, of course Piers's comments are getting rated by all the groypers. Like that's what they
They're really
do,
bad.
is
It's
they
really
fucking
funny.
astroturf the shit out of everything. And I would say the same thing about like even Destiny. Like I'm a Destiny fan, but going based on the comments is really difficult. Of course, the Jubilee video, half of the fucking Destiny guys, they go, they're like, not I'm not normally a Destiny fan, but he was really great in this debate, and they post shit like that, and then
Yeah.
they all upvote
Yeah.
it, right? So it's hard to say based on that alone. But I do think that like going back to what Nelson said about moderate people, like someone like my girlfriend who voted for Trump. Who is not a fan of all the crazy misogynistic shit. I think if she saw that and he was a big figure, or it continues to be a big figure in right wing spaces, I think that would have a huge impact on the way she views politics.
And he gets changed though. Like whenever if a really good wowoman comes in Nick's life, all that shit goes out the window.
All
Like
right,
you
but
can't.
look. I agree with what you're saying, bro. But like, all right,
But people
same
listen
thing,
to
same
him.
type of
People will
thing.
listen to
That's
what
what I
he's
was about to
saying.
say. Like even with what we've seen with Trump, like he ran on this big like this is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm gonna do it. And even with Trump, like he won't lean away from things that put him in his position, right? So if Nick gets to this position by saying all of these things, people are going to hold him to the fire until he does it. And that's kind of my fear
No,
is like maybe he doesn't feel this way, but he says it constantly and he allows that narrative to be pushed. So in my opinion, he's setting himself up to get there. I
we're
don't
in a
think that
we're in a different world, dude. Everything's changed. Donald Trump is a legitimate womanizer. So you have, and nobody gave a shit about that at all. He got elected on that. So you have Nick Fuentes, who's not an actual womanizer. He just talks about like things that you don't approve
what
of.
do y'all mean womanizer?
Well, Trump's cheated on his wives. He
Fucking
has
porn
3 wives.
stars.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he's the
Like
shit he says.
Grab him by
consistently?
the
Like
pussy, all
Yeah,
that type shit. Yeah.
I
he's
don't.
dude.
Yeah, but that was
Since
old. Like the grab it by the cookie. That was old
since
as
since
hell.
since the '80s, dude, he's been a womanizer. Like he's known for that.
Okay, all right. You're just talking about overall. I just didn't know if he
Well,
like
I mean,
literally
bro,
cheated on his
the
wife.
past 20, he's been 60 to 80 in the past 20 years. It's hard to do any womanizing when you're, I mean, obviously you can, but,
That's true.
let's be real.
That's true. I suppose, man. But
And he's not moving like he used
I
to.
don't know. I
But like
also lean into what Silver was saying about people can change. I don't think that people can't change. And I don't know if he has.
But
I'm just saying, like, I think that there's a danger in a Nick Fuentes getting popular, famous, and headed towards office. I think that
well,
there's a danger in that, and we need to know who are you, dog?
even
Like,
with what you're talking about the risk of audience capture where he changes and his audience doesn't, there's a problem that could turn up where nowadays if you have some of his supporters who are 16 to 19 or whatever just start treating women in their lives like shit because they say, oh, Nick Fuentes says these women, they belong in the kitchen and blah 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 blah.
yeah, but women don't stand for this shit. It doesn't even make sense.
when
Like that's
he
what I'm saying.
that's what I was about to say, when he's never even been with a woman though. So like
It's a
how
joke.
serious can you take it?
Yeah, it's not.
Exactly.
It's
I
not.
do agree,
He's a joke in that regard. Like
but
if he.
all of those guys that can't get women are looking at him like a god. You know
So
what
who
I'm
cares?
saying? How many,
They're
and
not
there's a
with
lot
women
of
anyway.
them.
Yeah, but they can't get with women anyway. Who cares? It's a useless. I mean, the problem is those guys are also the ones that shoot up the schools and stuff too. So it's like that's also
well,
scary.
so talking about the Overton window as we love to, isn't this just shifting the Overton window of
No,
towards more
because Tim Pool's houses
misogyny?
got shot up. No, because Tim Pool's houses got shot up. Once again,
Allegedly.
y'all's well, fair, but I mean, and he talked about it. He pulled up the stats on one of his videos today. I didn't finish it, but in just a year, there's been over 100 criminal investigations on leftist violence. Like our last argument, you like it's just be getting worse for you. Like it's not even
Yeah,
like
well, I mean,
remotely close.
what about Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's been inundated with death threats ever since she started talking shit about Trump, and
Well, she's been
She
having that
ain't
her whole
getting.
career.
yeah,
She's
She
been
ain't
but
gonna die.
she said it's never been like this until she started fucking with Trump and talking about him in a negative way.
and that may be true. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That may be true.
Oh,
Again,
here's a
right.
personal example. Sorry. Here's a personal example. I don't know how familiar you are with Georgia. Our Secretary of State name is Brad Raffensperger. There's that infamous call where Trump's on the phone with him talking about finding 11,000 votes or whatever it is, right? So Trump cooked. Fuck, what's our governor's name? I don't know. I can't think of it right now. But Raffensperger and Brian Kemp, sorry. So all the fucking Trump people in Georgia hate these guys, right? And somehow, God bless him, Kemp stood his ground and still got elected. So respect, even though he's a Republican. But Brad Raffensperger, I just sheer coincidence, I was driving past Atlanta and I passed his office. His office, like, it's so funny. You can look on Google, the Georgia Secretary of State's office. People like beat the shit out of his sign with like looked like bats, and it was difficult to do because each letter was individual. So they stood there for fucking like minutes beating each fucking letter. And obviously that's not to the scale of shooting up a house, but when I think if I was a political official and someone beat the shit out of my sign, it's like, oh, it's a little bit of a threat of violence. Obviously it's not the same, but this is the stuff Trump people are doing.
That's
Well,
okay.
you don't think Raffensperger? Do I need to look up how many death threats Raffensperger's gotten? Like, you talk about January 6th, people are chanting "Hang Mike Pence" because Trump said it was on Mike Pence to fucking flip the election, right? Like, this shit is both extremists on both sides who are just ludicrous. I mean, they literally carried fucking nooses
I think
to
that
January
if we're
6th, talking about hunting
like
down
if
Mike
we're
Pence.
gonna if we're gonna look something up, you should look up like how effective are death threats, like how many death threats actually come
Wait,
into
it's
like
credible death threats.
because that well, that's what I'm saying. How many of them are credible? You know, most of the time they're not
Oh,
credible.
Right.
here,
Yeah.
family of Georgia Secretary of State was still getting death threats months after the election. And when you pair death threats with the fact that they were fucking beating up his property, like, it's just a little sketchy, man. I mean, like I said, it's not to the same level as allegedly shooting up someone's house, but like, the extremists
Mm.
on both sides are not innocent in this,
Well, and Tim
especially.
Pool's, we've seen his streams where he got swatted and stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
everybody
been
gets swatted.
on
All political people get swatted. You
it's
fucking
been
talk
but
about
it's
Destiny.
been
Destiny gets
ongoing for
swatted.
years though. Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
been
I get it,
ongoing for
man.
years though.
That's unfortunately the name of the game in 2025 when we don't have the technology to root out every single swatter. Like, but the people who ham it up, obviously for attention, just to get approval or whatever, or play to their base. But it happens to everybody, and I unless I saw some data otherwise, I don't think it's disproportionately one
I
way
keep
or the other.
I keep forgetting to send it to you. Like, I mean, I watch Tim Pool every once in a while for those things because he shows you on the screen like what he's
Yeah,
talking
but
about. I
Tim
mean,
Pool, like,
he's a super dork. I get it.
he's
Yeah,
an extremely biased source, like, to say the
he's
least.
but it's not he's not using biased sources though. He's using literally like the most unbiased of sources. If you're to
I,
believe,
I'd
again,
like to
I'm
see
not a
it. I mean,
statistic guy. I
I
think
love
all of that should be
stats. Nelson
skewed.
can tell you I love stats.
It can be skewed to suit your narrative though, so you just got to be careful with that. But
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is I feel like men lie. They say men lie, women lie, numbers don't. I think the numbers lie too. I think that
oh yeah,
everything can be manipulated, and that
yeah,
was kind of what I was trying to talk to you about with the poll thing. Even though you got me on that. I, bel I agree with what you say about polls after going into the depths that we went to figure out where they come from and what they are and how they're. You know what I mean? But I still feel like numbers can be manipulated. You know what I mean?
well, I mean,
Numbers.
the numbers like when Nick shows up on Piers Morgan's show and he does look at the views he already
Well,
got. Like
no.
that's
Let me
insane.
let me give you an example. I'll give y'all an example. For instance, like in basketball, you can't make up the numbers on how many points were scored, right?
Right.
But when you start talking about who the greatest of all time is, and when you start talking about these awards and all of these things that matter, you can start making up, you know, the most triple double average
Right.
of
Right.
one season ever, and then like all eyes are on this one guy that shouldn't even be in the
the
discussion. You get
the
what I'm
problem
saying?
with
Yeah.
the thing that gets left out, and I see a lot of people that feel a similar way to you, Nelson, where you say like, oh, I've never gotten a call for a pollster or whatever, but the
Mm,
methodology for a lot of this stuff is public. When people talk about Fox News polling being problematic, you can literally, if you just scroll to the bottom of a Fox News poll, you can see what methodology they use. You can see what
mm.
way they decided to call certain people, and you can see exactly the questions that they were asked. And you're right,
Same
you
thing happens on the
can.
left. The left does the same thing. They say the questions weird, like it skews the answers.
That's the thing, is you can ask a question in a certain way, or you can frame a certain statistic in a particular way where
Right.
you can make it sound like Asian people rob the most banks or some shit like that if you ask a really specific question, whatever, right? But if you
Mhm.
can actually get into the nitty gritty, and people will disqualify stats based on that without actually looking at the information, is the problem. But you can look at the
That's a good
information
point.
and see if it's actually a good
I agree.
question being asked or not, right? So
You
I
can.
think you should dismiss it based on the actual merits of it rather than the fact that it is a statistic.
You can, but most people won't. Most people will just trust
Well,
the
there's the
statistic,
problem.
which is the
Or
problem.
or
Yeah, yeah,
dismiss
yeah.
it because it's a statistic and they say,
Or
"Oh, I
dismiss it
hate all
because it's
pollsters. I've never gotten polled, therefore it's not trustworthy," even though they didn't
yeah.
actually check. Because I mean, I know a couple of statisticians and these people are like the most fucking hyper nerdy, autistic, rigorous people ever, and they don't exist, or at least the ones I know don't exist to sell narratives. They're just trying to get good data. And obviously there are biased people, but you can look and determine for yourself which one is which without just throwing everything out or accepting everything for no reason.
Uh, how long do y'all think it'll be before Nick Fuentes is on Rogan?
I think it's just kind of lame. Like Rogan's lame because he's always like way behind the curve now.
Yeah, but like I give it 2 months. I think he'll be on
Nick
Rogan.
said Nick said that he's heard that he's interested. So I don't know.
Well,
I'm
Dave
sure he
Smith
is.
likes Nick, and Dave Smith is big on Rogan, right? So it
Yeah.
might happen. But I don't
I
know.
just
I feel like he's a step too far for Rogan, maybe, but who knows?
Rogan won't. I don't know if Rogan will find him interesting.
He won't push back. I don't
That's
think.
yeah.
And I think that that's the issue is he just won't push back on anything, which is why I wanted to again
Which is
just say
why
that
Nick would want to go on there.
that's that's what I did appreciate about Pierce though. Even if Nick knew that he was going to do all that, I still think that was the most pushback you can get. And I think that it's important whenever people are interviewing him to show people who he is. And I think that, in all honesty, I think Pierce did the best job that he could of showing people who Nick Fuentes is.
I think there were a couple points he could have made, but I think he did a really good job. I wouldn't
If
do
you,
it any different.
I've watched it on several different people, and like with the Hodge twins, they bring up the same shit, but they just do it to where it's not malice, and they try to let him like put his own foot in his mouth. The problem with Nick though is he doesn't care, and he's not ever going to put his
Yeah.
foot in his mouth. It's like interviewing Trump and trying to do gotchas. It won't happen because he doesn't care.
Well,
Like you can't do a gotcha when you don't care.
Nick is extremely rhetorically effective too. He can walk away from points he doesn't want to answer or give non-answers, which Piers did have to do a couple times, and he had to go back and say, "Well, you didn't actually answer the question."
Right.
But that's
he's like
something
Gavin
that
Newsom like that. Gavin Newsom's really good at that.
yeah, well, and that's what I was actually about to bring up is Rogan said he didn't want to interview Gavin Newsom because he thought he was like too rhetorically effective or whatever, and he thought he would get like deceived or some shit. I forget exactly what he said, but he basically said like Gavin Newsom is too good at like lying or something, which I feel like he might have
Maneuvering, bro.
maneuvering, whatever,
He's
however you want
like
to put it,
he's
bro.
too good at like, yeah, well, like you can
But-
ask him any question on earth, he's just going to talk about what he wants to talk about, you know?
Well, and I mean,
by
I
the
think
time you get the opportunity to say something else, you're so far into the woods you don't even remember what your damn
I mean,
question
the
was,
same thing
man.
can be said of Trump, though. Like, so I don't know
Yeah,
if
no,
that's
he's the
necessarily a good
goat.
excuse.
No,
Like, you
no,
ask him
Trump
a
is the goat of
question
that.
about fucking, funding early stage childcare, and then he's talking about some
Well,
war in
here's the
Albania
thing
or
about
something.
ladders.
Like,
Ladders,
what?
if you want to talk about a ladder, where are the ladders being made right now? Ladders are being made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And by the
China, and
time you
then it's
get to
on
the
drug war shit or
yeah, dude,
something.
yeah,
Like,
dude, you're
what?
like, what? Yeah, but you, as a viewer, even you're sitting there and you're like, all right, I don't even remember what the question was at this
Well,
point. And that's
Rogan, by the way, he doesn't do a lot of pushback anymore because he feels bad. So I don't know. So I've been watching.
He
I
never
showed you
has.
my. Oh yeah, yes he has. So I'll explain it to you.
I think
So
he
dude,
has to. Early
dude,
on, he did push back. That's I think that's what made him as big as he is he
yeah.
actually
So like
used to
okay, Nelson. So I sent you the screenshot of my viewership of Rogan. I was in the top 1%. Which is insane. Like, and I felt bad about it because
that
I
is
watched.
crazy, bro.
That
Yeah,
is
because he's the
crazy.
biggest podcast in the world, and I'm the top 1% watching. So I literally
That
used to
is
watch.
insane.
Well, because I do a lot of like I'm on the road a lot, so it's always 3 hours. It's always somewhat entertaining, and it just keeps my mind like occupied, right? So that's why. And then I watch a lot of Theo for like my funny stuff, like you know what I mean. I have my little people I go to, and I'm 1% for Nelson too, but yeah.
My man.
So with
It's a little bit
him,
easier for
right?
Nelson.
It is. Well,
When he pushed back, it was famous. He pushed back with Steven Crowder on marijuana, and guess what? And it's funny too because that happened like almost 10 years ago, and Crowder at the time got destroyed. The entire internet said Rogan destroyed him, right? But in retrospect, looking back on it now, Crowder was right, and Rogan knows that and has talked about it. So and then another one that he pushed back on and went real hard on was he's never been back on was Candace Owens. Candace Owens went on there and he pushed back really hard on climate change. He was pro climate change and she was anti. And she said 3 times, "I do not want to talk about this. I don't know enough about it." And he kept pressing her because she kept talking about it on her show. And then they had a really long debate and she fucking destroyed him. And by the way, fast forward 10 years, what happened? She was right. So and he
well,
also agrees with her now. So like
what I would like to say too is just like even as I'm nowhere near Joe Rogan's age, but even at 35 years old, I find myself way less. Listen, this is the facts. This is why what we're doing is dope to me because I'm way less interested in debates. What are the point of debates? What do debates do? I'm not interested in any of that. What I am interested in is the psyche of other human beings and trying to get to the bottom of it and having real conversations with other people. And I think that Joe Rogan might be kind of leaning towards that too, maybe. I don't
yeah,
know.
he is.
Maybe it's just to the point where it's like, I don't care about getting you, bro. Even with Nick Fuentes, if I had the opportunity to talk to him, everybody would say I was fluffing him too, because all I would be interested in is his psyche. And I would be trying to have like a therapist to patient type of conversation, you know?
That's what he says. He says he just likes to figure out who they are and why they are the way they are. And he doesn't want to be
I'm like
like so.
that.
So another example was he had this leftist dude on that I can't remember his name, but I mean it's one of the most epic podcasts of all time because that dude kept putting a foot in his mouth the entire time. I mean he just looked like a complete buffoon based on that guy's own answers. And Rogan would just ask him to clarify shit, and it would just get worse and worse and worse and worse. He just did it again recently with the Egyptian guy that was trying to throw blockades up for ancient history. And so Rogan talks about over and over again. He just always feels bad whenever he puts people in their places. And he's also put his
Yeah.
foot in his mouth. Okay, here's an example. He for years and years and years he wasn't anti, but he would make fun of Christians on a regular basis. Now he's
Right.
going.
And now
Now
he's
he's going to
leaning
church.
into church.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the other part of it. Is
Why? Wait, what changed?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because I think when
Well,
things
that's easy, bro. People have been praying and Jesus came into his heart.
yeah,
Duh.
he's talked about it briefly. I mean, when you start to have like people pass away in your life, like if you haven't gone through shit, it won't make sense to you. But until you start going through it, it'll start to make more sense. That's the best way I can explain it.
Well, in all reality, Dylan, by the way, if like I'm saying that in jest, but a lot of truth is said in jest. Like before I became a Christian, I was very much I mean, I've told you this before. Like, I didn't want to hear nothing about it. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe in a God. I didn't understand it. I didn't want to put my mind around it. I didn't want nothing to do with it. And then all of a sudden, when you're in it, but I was in a crisis. I don't know about Joe, but he is leaning more into church for whatever reason, man. And he's really intrigued by like the conversation around Christianity.
My
I
girlfriend
think
had a
it's,
quote about like nobody converts more than people on their deathbed, or it was more
yeah, yeah,
eloquently
yeah.
put,
Yeah,
but
no, that's facts.
situations
That's
like that, I'm
facts.
sure.
It was
Yeah,
Wes
that's
Huff.
facts.
I think it was Wes Huff is the one that
That's what I was
really put
about to
him on
say.
because he was
Dylan,
so
I
compelling.
tried to send you that. Like, it's not even about compelling. It's just evidence, bro. Like,
What'd you send
I
me?
don't know,
Is this
man.
recent?
No, it was
Yeah,
probably about 6 months ago.
Oh,
This
that guy's
biblical
really cool to
expert
listen
got
to.
on Joe Rogan, and that is when it started, where Joe was like, I mean, this book was written by thousands of different people, the same old age-old arguments that everybody has. And Wes was like, actually, I mean, I can't do it, but like historically speaking, he was like, this is what I do, bro. I can show you, like, that's not true. This is what happened, and this is what happened, and it
That dude
matches up with
is
scripture. And he's the
he's
man, bro.
great.
It's
Oh, he's
insane.
in, and I'm not. I'm like in between the two of you, and I'm telling you, Wes Huff is just a fascinating person to listen to in general. Like you don't even have to be
Yeah,
into that; you'll enjoy it.
Wes is
yeah.
the type of person. Wes is the type of person that'll get like he can get you to convert to Christianity just based off of facts and evidence. I'm
Well,
the type of person that's I'm a feel person, you
there's
know.
people
So
like that. I'm sure there's people like that in Islam as well, right? There's extremely convincing Jewish speakers in Islamic or Muslim.
I haven't heard him yet.
I don't know, man.
Go on debate.
Not like Wes, bro.
Really?
I'm telling you.
I'll have to listen to
Yeah,
him. But there are some
yeah.
people who I don't know. Just well, you talk about like Mumdani. I don't know. Mumdani is not obviously um, a religious speaker, but just the cadence I think of some of these religious people is very interesting to me. I was telling Nelson about it. I watched the Mumdani acceptance speech or whatever, and it kind of he had a similar cadence to this rabbi that I knew growing up.
Mhm.
I don't know what it is, but and obviously I've not been super involved in church or anything like that, and not talked to a lot of pastors or preachers or whatever. But I think there's something too. Obviously, just people who are very religious in the way they speak.
Well, that's for me. I feel like
That's the
that's
thing
true
about
because
Wes, man. Wes is. I wish Wes had a little bit of that. He doesn't really even have any of
yeah,
it. It's
he doesn't
literally
have
just
the
based off of yeah.
like Jordan
It's
Peterson.
crazy. I want you to see it, bro. It's crazy. It's
I'll
wild.
check it out. It's the
I
Rogan
love.
thing you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really good.
specifically Wes Huff on Rogan.
I loved Jordan Peterson for years because of the way his economy of
Hmm.
words.
Oh
I just like
God.
the way I like the way he speaks, not the tone of his voice, but like the type of words he would use. And so, like from a hip hop standpoint, the way Eminem will use his words to tell a story was really cool. Jordan Peterson's really good at that. So was what's the
I,
other one? What's the other guy? The other guy that he used to have beefs with. Uh, the other dork that's
are you
been
talking
getting
about Sam
destroyed.
Harris or
Yeah, Sam Harris. The way he would talk is really cool.
yeah,
Like I
Sam
like the way
Harris?
people. I like the way they talk. Like I like the words they're using. You know what I mean?
I just feel like
That's
Jordan Peterson says a whole lot of
It's
nothing
intriguing.
very often. Like he
well,
said,
no,
it sounds
Well,
nice, but there's
Jordan
not a lot of
Peterson,
content to it.
I like Jordan Peterson, but if I listen to him talk for 30 minutes, I feel like I'm listening to like a history teacher, and I'm just like, oh man, I don't even know what we're
no.
talking about.
watch his earlier, like his lectures that he had. So he uploaded all of his lectures from like 20 years ago. Go
Before he
listen
fried
to
his
him
brain.
break. Go listen to his breakdown of like The Dark Knight, by example. It's so good.
Oh
Like
yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. That's
he
something I
does
can rock with.
he does a lot of he used to do a lot of pop culture. Like in his classroom, he would use like pop culture and talk about the stories that are being told and how you can apply it to your life. Like it's super dope. Like
Yeah,
the guys,
that is
he
dope.
was amazing. And then he like got strung out on what was
Benzos.
it? Benzos, because his wife had stage 4
Oh,
cancer.
what?
Like he had that's why he fell off, because he's had a lot going on.
I
Like
think he
he's
had a surgery or something as well, and then he was prescribed, and then he got
Man.
addicted or something like that.
well, it's just with
Oh
that,
no.
and his wife had stage 4 cancer, so he couldn't. He was like having panic attacks because of all those big arena shows he was doing. So he just like organically got really addicted to him. And benzo is
Organically
one of the
got
hardest things to come off
addicted.
of. Yeah,
I hate that, man.
he's
Yeah.
open about it. I mean, that I respected that. But now he's like, when I stopped following him was when he started with Daily Wire. I was out. He sold out, and he was a free speech absolutist, and then sold out to the Daily Wire and would never criticize anything they said he couldn't criticize. And I was like, I'm done.
Do you
Well,
think
that's
there are
what they do. Yeah.
any true free speech absolutists out there? Like, I feel like the vast majority of free speech absolutists that you see on the internet will cheer on somebody being canceled as long as they're on the polar opposite side of them. I feel like one of the only people who I've not seen this happen with is like
Mm.
Myron Gaines.
Ironically, I would say the closest thing that we have is Nick Fuentes.
I'm an
I don't
absolutist.
think so. I don't know
I
about
don't
that
have,
one, buddy.
I don't know what I mean, I'm absolutely absolutist.
No, I mean like in the public space. Like, are
In the
there
public
any,
space, like
you
once
know,
you have followers, because once you get followers, and that's what I'm saying about Nick too. That's the downside of it, is what, like, once you get followers that believe in your mission and believe in your statement, what are you going to
because
turn on them?
even if you talk about Nick Fuentes, his fans have been um
So
have
I
done
can
like,
answer for you.
mass report campaigns and stuff
Yeah,
like that. So you can't be
Anomaly never has. Dave Smith never has. Liberty Lockdown never has. What's his name's Clint Russell.
Dave Smith.
Black Guns Matter. I mean, his name's Maj. I mean, I can keep going. The people I follow don't fuck with the stuff like that.
Yeah, I just mean like really
Well, that's
big, like
dope.
Tucker
They are
Carlson, I
big.
guess.
They are really big.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Dylan.
They've all been on those shows.
I'm
So,
not
I
super
mean,
Yeah,
familiar with those people.
Anomaly's number one. He's the best person to watch for anything political, in my opinion. Because that dude is the most unbiased person there is. Like, he is the best, and no, he's been blacklisted from everything. Nobody will have him on. He's so good, dude. He will rip into everyone. Like Tucker won't have him on. The only person that will give him time of day is Candace Owens. That's
Really?
it.
Well, that's a
That's
scary.
it.
Oh,
That's a scary side.
Well, because
I
they have
like
a
Candace,
history.
man. I
They have
wish
a
that
history.
Candace would quit with this Charlie Kirk stuff, man, because I think she's a badass, bro. I just think that
That's
she's
what gives
gone
me
off the
pause.
deep end with this Charlie Kirk
That's
thing,
what gives me
man.
pause. What if I'm on the side of like, it seems super grifty in the way she was like, I'm going off the air, and it was like all for Thanksgiving, like the way she's all cryptic and leaning into the whole like women's like murder mystery shit. So
Yeah.
I like my common sense says she's 100% grifting right now.
Well,
But
Yeah, mine too.
her history, she's really good with receipts. She's really good with becoming like I'm holding on to the fact that maybe she's right, and that's going to be crazy if she is. But it don't seem like she
Yeah,
is.
it seems
But
like she's
I
just
don't think
super
so.
grifty, man. Like, I don't know. I watched some of her coverage recently, and there's this thing you can do, and she does it better than anybody, I think.
yeah,
Where you
she's an
can,
expert at it.
where you can just describe something completely normal, but it
Right.
sounds weird when you break it down like an idiot. You're like, oh, it was really weird. He was just sitting on his couch, staring at his phone screen, saying a bunch of words, and there was nobody in front of him. And it's like, oh, well, he was on a video call. Like, you can just describe like completely mundane things and make it sound
Right.
crazy. And that's what it feels like she's doing with the Charlie Kirk stuff. She's like, oh, well, they were talking about receiving some money from a big source and how important it was. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, they
I
are a
hate it, man.
fundraiser, but just like acting like there's some crazy level of malice behind things for no reason.
Well,
And
my
she's not
thing is, I'm a very
substantiating any of it.
commonsensical person. If there really was a lot of malice behind the scenes, I just feel like people would have known about it. You
Yeah,
know
I
what
mean,
I
I
mean?
think there's a
Why
lot of
would you
weird
hide it?
stuff, but
I
like you
don't
said,
agree with
yeah.
the narrative. The main narrative is complete bullshit. Point blank period. Like there's no way that was a 30 like the official narrative makes zero sense. So I'm
Wait,
with
what about
Matt,
the
but
official narrative doesn't make sense? I
there's
don't know
no
enough
exit
about
wound.
this, but I'm curious.
So a 30-06 is a giant round. I mean that like if he gets hit with that, it decapitates him. There's no way that's real. They said that the 30-06 hit him in the neck and went down. There's no way. It's not possible. Like there's all the gun tubers immediately went online. They bought the realistic human dummy, shot the neck, and the head came flying off. Like it's not possible. The 30-06 thing is ridiculous. And then the fact that like there's all the evidence that she showed on the first 3 videos is what I believe in. Everything after that is like
Did they say the bullet passed straight through his neck?
no, it stayed in his body, and because he has. I think the official story from the FBI is that he has superhuman vertebrae. It doesn't make sense. Like, dude, a 30-06 can sever a wild hog's spine. It doesn't make sense. Like the whole story just.
And it was 100% the 30-06.
That's what the FBI said.
Hmm.
But the
I'm
gun they
more
showed.
inclined if I was gonna believe that there was a lie somewhere, I would be more inclined to believe that the 30-06 part was a lie than I would be to believe that it was some big conspiracy
Well,
conspired thing
I
against
think
Charlie.
Yeah, I'm not saying all that part's true. I'm just saying
You know
the
what I
official
mean?
story is not
Yeah,
true.
no,
Yeah,
I
like,
know.
the gun they showed, the official gun they showed that he supposedly assembled and reassembled and disassembled and all the whole thing, that was a 308. It wasn't even a 30-06. Like there's so much of it, it doesn't make sense. So
well, I mean, it
Yeah.
could have
like,
been a mistake in the reporting. I mean, being
they haven't
very good
corrected
faith
still?
here. Huh?
Like, come on, what are we doing? Like, I don't know. We'll wait.
I
to see
mean,
the court
bro,
hearing.
Cash Patel. I mean, have you seen that reporting where like he wouldn't come out without an FBI
Cash?
jacket on? Yeah, right. Like the
Like, what
guy,
the fuck?
Charlie Kirk just got shot, and he could not do a press conference without a fucking FBI jacket. That was his priority, supposedly. I mean, that would
Who
be
knows?
crazy if it was a 30-06, and you know, there was no exit
Yeah, I don't
wound.
know
Like,
how
where
much
does
I
where does all
believe in
that
Cash
energy go, right? But
That's my only point. Is at her first few episodes, I was on board because all the ex-military were saying the same thing. Like the Reaper, the most decorated sniper after Chris Kyle, saying the same thing. Like so many experts were saying this doesn't add up. The official story does not make sense. I was on board with her there, but then she went way off the deep end and became
that's
number one.
that's the
podcast.
thing, and I think it's a pattern with a lot of people similar to her that I have a problem with, where like something weird can happen. Where like say all you're saying is true, and this did actually happen. I mean, theoretically, like you could have just a 1 in a million chance that like his vertebrae are, you know, maybe he had a plate in his back, or I don't know, whatever happened. Theoretically it could happen, right? I mean, there's been a person who literally survived skydiving when their parachute didn't even deploy, and they're alive and they can walk, right? Like
Yeah,
shit
there's a
happens.
there's a famous Navy SEAL that was shot 57 times by an AK-47, and he's still alive today.
Yeah, so shit happens. Uh, but then to say that his wife was conspiring with France and Israel and Trump to get him killed and all this other crazy shit
That
is
shit's
just like
gone.
so far afield from the weirdness without substantiating
So to be fair,
it, right?
some of the people that I like to watch have said all the people that are saying she's crazy don't watch her show, and I also don't watch her show. So it's like I don't want to be, because I'm not gonna sit there and watch all that shit. I don't care. But they were saying if you actually watch what she talks about, it's not that far fetched. And you're like, okay, fair enough.
No, I
Now,
don't think she's crazy.
like they're saying that she might be reaching, but it seems like somebody that's like that's truly distraught from losing
Well,
their best friend. So,
I hate to say this, man. I mean, I don't know for sure. I've watched Candace. I just think that she's dope, man. But as a content creator, I watch her and like she motivates me, I guess is the best way to put it. But
right.
the one thing that I will say, man, is that month, the Charlie Kirk month, I've never made so much money on YouTube, and I only did two videos that had anything to do with it.
Well, and I
So,
think
I
she's getting
mean,
huge
I just,
sponsorships for her videos as
well,
well.
just think about it, right? Like if you did 20 videos in 30 days and you're doubling your money off of each one of them, it's going to be, I mean, come on, dude, it's going to be difficult to steer away from that. It is a business at the end of the day, right? It is something that you want to be successful. It's going to be difficult to steer away from that. The more that she does it and the more that she feeds into it, the more money like
I mean, her
way
last
more
several
money she
lives,
makes.
bro, 531,000 views, 2.1, 1.6 million, 2.1, 2.1. I mean, this is every day. An
Yeah,
hour live stream as well
No,
with huge viewership is a shitload of
just
money.
just
they
follow
want to know
Owen
where the
Benjamin.
story's going.
Follow Owen Benjamin. and just see his
Mm.
take on her. It's
Yeah.
That dude is wild.
Yeah.
Because he said that she's still in the slave trade.
Oh, I thought
He's
you meant
wild, dude.
Benjamin Franklin. I thought you meant like a
No,
like.
no.
My
Owen
bad.
Benjamin. I was like, I didn't think you knew who Owen Benjamin was. He's a wild boy. So
No, I thought
he's
you
a
were talking about the
comedian.
money.
He's a comedian that Dave Chappelle stole from, like blatantly. Think about that for a
Mm.
second. And Owen Benjamin called him out and gave receipts too. It wasn't like there's no hiding. Like
I think
Owen
I heard
Benjamin,
about this.
dude, Dave Chappelle stole an entire comedy bit, which Dave Chappelle is known for. He stole it from somebody that did it 2 years prior. And a
Damn.
lot of the famous comedians
I
steal
don't
from
want to
Owen
hear
Benjamin. He's a
that.
brilliant dude. I'm telling you, Owen Benjamin is a brilliant writer. And again, I kept telling y'all the way I view who I watch is based on their predictions and how often they're true. Y'all
Hmm.
don't do that. Dylan, you don't do that because you wouldn't be watching like Destiny, by example, because he's wrong almost all the time. So
Like
like
about what?
I everything. Like I curate who I listen to based on their predictions. Most
How-
people won't even make predictions because they're scared of it.
Well, I'm curious.
Destiny
I
will
don't know. I don't want to be a fucking Destiny stan, but what predictions has he made that are wrong?
just
I'm
go
just curious.
I'll leave you with this. I'll give you a list later after this.
Okay.
Liberty Lockdown, Dave Smith, Anomaly, like all these guys, they've openly debated him, crushed him, shown that like he's not. These guys predict and they're right 75% of the time. Destiny predicts on the few times he does predict, he's been wrong like 80% of the time. So like the left in general can't predict very well because they're really bad at worldviews. It's just reality, dude. This is why. And
I agree.
the people I follow are not on the right, by the way. So it's not like I'm on their side either. I'm just telling you, like I try to find the most unbiased people, and their predictions tend to be right 70+% of the time.
What kind of predictions
Destiny
are you
can't.
talking about? I'm just curious. I want to like a specific thing.
So like a current event. So a current event right now. So we can all three do it, right? So and I hate doing that right thing. That's what the left does. You make a statement, you say right with a question mark as if y'all are agreeing that I'm right. It's not true. So I need to stop doing that.
We should all make a prediction.
Right. So Candace Owens is saying that Charlie Kirk's company was in on it, on the cover up or whatever. Do you think that comes true? Yes or no?
No.
That's a prediction, right? So you need to. I did it again.
Do y'all want to make
That
a
is a
prediction?
prediction, yes.
I think that would be dope. Let's make some predictions before we head out of here.
That's how you curate who you listen to, because, or at least put a stock in what they're saying.
I agree.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a bad idea at all.
And I agree. I 100% agree about the prediction thing. But I look at what people base their opinions on. When you have someone like Candace Owens who just goes and says all this crazy shit based on seemingly nothing, and she still can't even accept the fact that Macaroon, that dude's wife, the guy who runs France, is.
You mean the man? I'm with her on that one. That one's weird.
They literally sent her everything, bro. They sent her everything.
No,
they sent her like fucking childhood pictures.
They said no, they didn't. All fabricated.
Fabricated. That's convenient.
Yeah.
Okay,
dude. I'm telling you, that's a weird one because journalists for a
why
very
is
long
this
time.
Important, anyways?
It's not zero importance, but again, her receipts are pretty rock solid on that, dude. That's a weird one. So again, my prediction would be in court that's going to come out to where she's more right than wrong.
We'll do predictions on this. I predict that she will lose that case.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, I want to make up my own prediction. I don't want to.
All right, what are you predicting, Nelson? He wasn't even ready yet.
I predict that Nick Fuentes will run for president in 2028.
No way.
He's not old enough.
He's not old enough. Yeah. So it'd have to be 2032, depending.
Yeah.
I think he's 27.
Why?
So
how old do you have to be?
35, right? Yeah.
Damn, I'm cooked already. I predict.
Unsubscribe.
I predict.
You're the religious guy. When's Jesus coming? How long do we have?
Soon. I would predict that Jesus will come back in my lifetime.
Well, that's kind of unfair. If you die, then you won't live to not be right.
Yeah, that is true. I would say by the time I don't know. It's too difficult, man, because the signs. I don't know. I would say in my lifetime.
You can pick something a little easier than the second.
Yeah, right. The second coming of Christ.
Okay. Yeah,
second.
do it like with your hip hop brain, like predict. You can do it for everything in life. Like if the more you predict, the more you get it right, then you can shape your worldview to be curated. That's all I do when it comes to politics. The people I listen to is because their predicting levels are they're batting 1,000. Like that's why like Owen
Right.
Benjamin, he's really good at this. Like he's very, and it'll make you mad too. Like he'll shit on somebody you like a lot, and he'll make a prediction about him, and then it'll come true like 6 months later. You're like, dang it.
Oh,
Like
All
I
right, I
know
got
who
one for
this guy
y'all.
is. Is he the big
I got you.
9/11 debater or?
I predict that I will have 100,000 subs by this time next year. So in 2026, I think I'll get up to
and
100,000.
I don't think you will. So there we go. I'll
All
oppose
right.
it.
All right.
Damn. Brutal from a top 1% fan. Yikes.
Well, I had to get pushback. I mean,
A
I'm
hundred
rooting
thousand
for
is
him.
hard, bro. That's hard.
I'm
That's
rooting
Yeah,
for
hard.
him.
that's not easy.
So here's another one. I'll leave you with this before we get out of here. So Owen Benjamin years ago talked about how pandas are fake, right? And everybody's like, "What? That doesn't even make sense." Yeah, see, that's what I did. And then wait until you start looking into it, and you're gonna go, "What the fuck? Pandas are fake, dude. That shit's crazy." I'll give you this little. It's a little
What does
tidbit,
that
and you can
even
fact
mean?
check it. Hold on, you can fact check it. So when was the latest historical data on a panda?
What is
How
it?
far back does it go?
I actually don't even know what that means. Like, oh, when's the longest historical
Like in a
record of
book,
there being
like a
pandas?
historical record of a panda. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
Would
not
it
a
be?
fucking panda expert, bro.
Would you would think like 1500 or something, right? Like you can go far
Yeah,
back,
you'd
right?
think
You
like
would think.
there was probably some
Yeah.
like Chinese dynasty that had a pet panda in
Right.
their fucking
Right.
castle or
Right.
some
Right.
shit and painted it or something.
The first time it ever showed up ever was in 1950. I'll just let you start there. I'm telling you, pandas are not natural. It's gene editing. It's crazy. Like he did a whole thing. Like he did a 2-hour special on it. It's fucking wild.
You
Like
think they gene
Owen
edited
Benjamin is
them
the
in
shit.
1950?
Well, not gene edited. Like they bred them to make that because they had a
Oh,
bamboo problem. So they use like red pandas and something else. Like
that's kind of
but the
genius if
Chinese
they did
government
that.
for sure. But like his whole bit, his comedy bit on it was pandas are fake, and it made the entire internet mad. And they're like, "There's photos of them right now," and it's like, "No, hold on." And so he explained it in his 2 hours, and he was right. It's just funny. He does it all the time, dude. He does it all the time,
Maybe I'll go down a
and it'll
rabbit
make you
hole
mad. You
on
won't
Reddit
agree with
about
him.
this.
You'll
All
get
right. So
mad when you start reading about
what
his
are y'all's
predictions.
predictions on Nick Fuentes? What do y'all think Nick Fuentes is doing?
Well, I don't think he said he didn't have any interest in politics or at least like running for office, but I just think that Nick Fuentes, the sole purpose for his existence is to shift the Overton window in his favor. And anything that he can do to accomplish that, he'll consider a win. Like
But
that's the thing
why?
is he's very good at
What's
being
the
politically
point?
effective. To get the average person in the country more aligned with his political view. Like that's the thing. That's why I don't think he wants
Mm.
like you were talking about what his actual prescriptions are for policies. I don't think he would prescribe anything crazy right now because he knows that's not where the average person is and he knows that would alienate him and make
He
him
talks
less
about all this.
appealing. I mean, well,
He talks about all this.
well, but that he does. He says he doesn't think that it's an option. Like if you asked him if he could Thanos snap and erase all the non-white people from the country, I'm sure he would say yes. Like he doesn't have a principled view on wanting diversity in the country. He's a realist, and he
Dude,
just he just acknowledges
one of
that
his
it's not possible for us to get rid of all the other races
well,
from
he
the
does,
country
but he's
because they're
like
so
one
entrenched.
one of his best friends is Sneeko, who's a Muslim, and he's like Middle Eastern, like that.
He's
So
not
he doesn't.
Middle Eastern. He's biracial, and he's a Muslim convert.
Uh,
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know, but I'm
Well,
just
even
saying, like
like Ye, like he said in the Pierce interview, bro, he was like, "Well, I can't be racist. I'm one of my best friends is Ye," and I'm like, "Yeah,
Which is
but
hilarious. I mean, that's
I mean, Ye is like, I love Kanye West as an artist, bro, but Kanye is loopy, bro. Like, he is one of those people that you could literally be the most racist person walking earth. You could hate black people, and he would still find a way to respect you and admire you. You know?
I don't. I don't know. He's his whole Nick Fuentes' whole thing is America first and foremost, and I'm with that 100%.
I am
That
too.
narrative,
I am too.
and
There's a lot
that's
of things that he's about that I'm about, which is why it makes me nervous with younger people that can't differentiate that you can be America first without trying to get rid of black people. You know what I mean? Which is,
that's
we don't want
anomaly.
that. None of us want that
That's
country,
who.
bro. I don't
But
want
that's why
anything
you've never heard
like,
of anomaly. That's why you've never heard of Anomaly, because he speaks. If you listen to him, you'll go, "That's my dude right there." You'll love. He's a hip hop guy and everything. I
I know
sent you
I've
his video
listened to him a
before.
lot. I've listened to him a good bit,
He's
especially over the past
that's
6
the dude.
months.
That's the
Yeah.
dude right there. But he's not known because he doesn't have crazy views. I mean, he does here and there, but like he goes viral on TikTok and stuff. But like that dude is very normal. And Dylan, you should start watching him because I'd be interested to see, because you'll agree with everything he says about Trump, but you won't like what he says about the liberals.
Right. Well,
But they also
that's
won't
what we
debate
need
him.
more
He's
of.
ruthless. Well,
It
he's
needs to
ruthless.
be
He won't.
okay. Like
Listen,
we need to quit pushing people into this place where they feel like they got to have this team ideology just to fit in. It's okay if you hate Trump and you hate liberals. That's okay. Well, hate's a strong word, but like if you don't agree with either, that's okay. It's an okay thing, bro. Like you don't have to have this. Oh well, just because I don't like the liberals, I'm automatically on Team Trump. And that's one thing about what's going on with the right now, which I don't like seeing this split, but I think it's good because it's going to cause people either A, people are going to grow to hate each other even more, or B, whenever it comes back time to vote again, people are going to come and they're just going to say like, all right, let's set our differences aside and let's do what we need to do for the better common purpose for America, which is where everybody should be. But the fact of the matter is, man, if someone's running for president and they're promising America first, I don't think it's probable or possible for that to happen in 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you make that work?
Oh no.
well,
But
I don't have an
that's his whole
issue.
goal is like he's going to send the workers out.
I don't have an issue talking shit about the left. Like, I think there's plenty of cringe people out there who say a lot of really stupid stuff, who are on the far left. But like, I think in general, most actual like Democrat liberal politicians are pretty sane individuals. But like, Nelson and I were talking about the person who went viral on TikTok for like complaining about they were a female to male trans or a male to female trans person, and they were complaining about how terrible their periods are. And an
Oh my God.
extremely cringe way. And like, I don't
I
have
thought
any
it had to
problem
be
saying that
satire.
like that person sounds fucking insane.
I thought that
Now,
had to be satire, bro. That was crazy. I was
yeah,
like, all right,
I mean,
bro. No way.
I don't know. Against my better judgment, I will go to. I would argue
Silver.
in favor of them for some
This
things, but
dude, like,
it was
bro, like you
bad.
with pigtails basically was like, you will not tell me I do not have a menstrual cycle when I have periods just like every other woman on. And I mean it's like a 3 minute rant about how he has periods just like women. And I was like, I'm gonna throw you under the bus, Dylan. I was like, this has to be satire, right? And Dylan was like, well, statistically speaking,
No, that's not
there
what I
have been other
said.
men, there has been other men out there that have
I
had
said,
menstrual
I'll
cycles.
quote myself in my defense. I said, super cringe delivery, but probably not comedy. All right. So I'll be cringe.
What else did you say?
I said I've heard mixed things from other trans people on this, but evidently some do have monthly pains that some people call periods. What that I said is not factual.
I mean,
Nothing, dude. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
I literally
just
said,
think it's hilarious.
I said, call
that
it a
your
trans
response.
period or a
Yeah.
question mark, whatever you want. Who gives a shit? How does it impact
Well,
anyone?
that part's true. That part's true. It
Which
doesn't
I think
impact
that's
anybody.
hilarious. I think call it a question mark
It
because
does.
period, trans, question mark.
It infuriates me because, well, it infuriates me. I should say that. It irritates me because as a father of 3 girls, it's just like it's disrespectful as fuck for a dude to be talking about like that. It just straight up, like I will never ever be okay with that narrative. I don't like talking about it. It irritates the shit out of me. I have very powerful women in my life. I hate this talk. Like they need to shut the fuck up and get in their place. Like I hate it.
I feel the same. I feel the same way, but I don't think that it hurts those girls or your girls or mine. It doesn't hurt them. The issue is that it's disrespectful. I agree.
It's disrespectful.
Super disrespectful.
Wait till your wife and your daughters all start syncing up, and we'll have this conversation again.
I mean, I was
dude.
most of my life I was raised with my mom and my sister, so trust me, there were hell weeks in there.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's not the same as 3 women plus a 3 daughters plus a wife plus
Well, your
My wife doesn't
admiration, Dylan, like when you get married and you have daughter, your admiration for women just grows. It's not that you don't have admiration for women now; it just grows more whenever you like.
I don't know. I think I've been
see
watching
her
too
give
much
birth.
Fuentes to admire women anymore.
Yeah, just to see like your wife give birth and bring that life into the world, ultimately, if it feels like it's for you, you know. I don't know, man. There's a beauty in it. Like
Well,
women are. That's why I was like, I can't take a lot of Nick Fuentes stuff seriously, man, because he hasn't seen even remotely anything close to that. So it's almost like I hate to say it, man, but it's almost like ignorance. Like it's like
Oh,
you have no
100%.
idea what you're
100%.
talking about. And like what to say women can't vote, bro, is gnarly. I'm glad that Pierce got him to actually say it, but like with all these new eyes, but it's like,
well,
bro,
that's the fun.
A lot
what?
of people say that.
Yeah, a lot of people do. That they're all fucking idiots. Like, and that's the thing is, a lot of this stuff is talk about things that are politically
They don't have
attainable.
strong women
Like
in their
there,
lives.
well, that and there's just it could never happen. Like you're never amending the Constitution to remove women's right to vote. Like you literally need
See,
a majority of states to vote for it, and like 3/4 or 2/3 of each house in Congress. It's just not possible. Like there's no way you would need women to vote for it, and there's no way you're getting enough women to vote for that.
Well, the reason
I
why it
agree.
comes up is because white liberal women vote for their own demise. They vote for the very policies that get them raped in crazy numbers in liberal cities. Like it's happening all over the West, and you can't even dispute that. It's a fact.
We could argue about this. I don't think we have the time to argue about this.
Go look up the UK and the way they vote and what's happening to white women. That will solve your that will. There's no argue. You're a numbers guy. Go look it up.
Yeah, but I don't care about the UK. I care about America, and there's no evidence of any of
I
this
care
happening
about
in
I care about
America.
like well, I care about the abuse that's happening in the UK because the way the left is going, we're going to be there in 5 years. So I want, and I have again $3. I very much care about this shit. And the more you
Mhm.
allow immigration the way you have, that don't view white women as human beings, they look at them as meat and an opportunity. Like it's just sorry that the liberal
Yeah,
way
but
of thinking is fucked.
could
I'm
it
sorry.
theoretically be the
I'm not.
case that the UK is failing in some aspect? Like I know obviously America has failed in certain aspects of getting immigrants to assimilate, but we don't see this huge amount of violent crime happening from immigrants. So it might just be a UK problem, or a Europe problem. Like I'm just not seeing any
I
evidence
hope
of
you're
this
right. I
disparity.
hope you're right. I don't think that's true because I think the numbers don't agree with you in big blue cities.
Well, the problem is with big blue cities is a lot of crime happens where a lot of people are. Like,
In
ain't
general,
nobody
yeah,
raping
yeah, yeah, yeah.
anybody when you're, the closest neighbor to you is an acre away in fucking bumfuck nowhere, Alabama, right? Like,
Well, two years ago, there was somebody being raped on a New York train, and people watched. Nobody helped her.
well,
Like that kind of shit is. It
That is
doesn't matter. That's
problematic.
just
I mean, that's
it's
Yeah,
insane.
insane.
even if you're in a big
We
city,
we
it
should
shouldn't be
not.
happening to that level in big cities either. Even
Yeah,
though
But that
you're
dude should be
right.
thrown under a train. Like, what are
yeah,
you
for
doing? Like,
sure.
that's the
But
most.
the
Like,
problem
it's
is,
horrific, and that's the left, dude. That's their policies. They're the ones that
I mean,
they're the ones that
crazy.
are
You
anti-cop. They're the
compare
ones that
Miami. Miami's a red city. I mean, and the problem is a lot of cities tend to skew blue, so it's hard to actually analyze the data
it
and
is.
compare and
It is.
find a
It's
good source
hard,
of
but
comparison. But you compare
it
Miami.
is
Miami's a
true.
big
That's
red
true.
city, and it has the same issues.
Yeah, that's when the Nick Fuentes of the world would argue about the demographics part of it, though.
Mm.
I mean, every city has poor people and hood people and
Uh,
gangsters and whatever.
I'm just going to tell you that's the argument that he would make.
I mean, okay. Well, what percent of Miami
We
is
got
white?
Nelson's chopping at the bit to leave, my man.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. All right. It was fun. It was fun. I know.
His body language is like this. He's like,
Talk about body language, bro. All the Nick Fuentes people were talking about Piers' body language. That shit is fucking weird, bro. I can't with that. But
Nick Fuentes
I
is
like
gay. Like,
Pierce's
let's
body
be
language.
honest.
I thought
he
Pierce
was just
killed it,
chilling,
bro.
bro. He was just
I thought he killed it.
chilling. Yeah, I thought he
He
did.
was making money. He knew
But
he was making money. He don't give a shit.
They 100,000 viewers plus. Yeah,
and they
live.
were tipping him. I was like, damn, man, I can barely get tips in my life, bro. They're giving Pierce Morgan $20 for what?
Dude, you get Anomaly on your show through his
All right.
talking about hip hop and politics. That he'll get you viewers, and that dude. He's a good dude. That's a good dude. His music is hot trash, but he's a good dude.
I'll check him
Dylan,
out,
that's your
man.
homework. Start watching him.
Oh god, I'll watch a
Dylan
couple
don't like
videos
hip
and we can
hop.
argue about it.
You won't
Dylan
argue.
likes like
You'll like him.
90s rock and 80s rock music.
I like all sorts of shit. I fluctuate. I actually need like some. I need some new music to listen to. I don't know. Send me some shit, Nelson. I'll give it a chance. I just probably
All right.
isn't gonna gonna happen. We'll see. Well,
I
it's fun,
mean,
guys.
I didn't mean you had bad taste in music. I think you have good taste in music. You just listen to older stuff most of the time when I'm around you.
Yeah.
That's all.
Any closing thoughts? Closing predictions?
Yeah, let's predict something else.
I don't even remember what the first ones were. Oh, Candace Owens losing her trial against the Macaroons of France.
I think it's gonna. I don't think the trial is gonna happen. To be honest with you.
I think isn't there a court case ongoing with them?
Yeah, but I think they could cancel it though.
I think we're gonna find out that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk for sure.
Oh, I don't think so.
I think so.
Not. I
I
don't think
don't
it's
think.
defended. No, nobody will be happy with it.
Yeah, we
That's the
might
thing.
find out
Is
that the
there's
bullet
no
was wrong, but
yeah, there's no evidence that's sufficient to to disprove these conspiracy theories, right? That's part of the problem with conspiracy theories is they're not
Mhm.
falsifiable for a lot of these people.
It's not conspiracy theories. There's evidence that shows it wasn't him.
Well, I mean, it is technically a conspiracy theory, but
No, not
it,
really.
it is a,
The conspiracy is that Charlie Kirk's company was involved in it. That's the conspiracy. The conspiracy is not. That's just up for debate.
so you're 100% sure that Tyler Robinson did not kill Charlie Kirk?
No, I'm saying if I had to put a percentage on it, probably 60% sure he didn't.
I'd have to look into it more.
If he did, he's not a solo shooter. There was like 10 other people that knew him that said it was going to happen, like way
well,
before it
I
happened.
will say,
Yeah, but
I don't have a lot of faith in Cash Patel, but I do have faith in the people that worked the case. I mean,
the thing is, when you're a huge high profile figure, everyone's always probably worried about that. I mean, to say like, oh, Charlie Kirk hired a bunch of security when he went to this event,
No, that's what I'm
he
saying.
knew something was
No.
going to happen or whatever.
No,
of course
no.
he's a huge high profile guy.
On the Discord, the trans people were saying, or the trans, they were saying
The trans
won't come.
We call him
Well,
now.
that's what they're saying. They weren't. He wasn't coming home today. There's 10 different people talking about it in the same vein that also are in the same chat as that guy. So
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
I'd
even if
have
it
to
was
see
him,
the
it's going
Discord.
to
I'm
be.
sure people say shit like that all the time.
Go watch Candace's first few episodes,
bro. Like, I'll sit through Tucker, Nick. I'll sit through. I don't know if I can sit through some fucking Candace Owens, bro. She's too dumb, man. Like, I don't think she.
What?
Dude, I
she's
can't.
not
I don't
dumb.
think she's dumb is crazy, bro.
The other thing is,
that's
like,
crazy.
She's a propagandist, bro. Like, so
that may be.
Did you watch the Piers Tucker interview at all?
I watched half of it.
What did you think? Ah, fuck. Ah, man, we're going too long. But what do you think about the first 20 minutes where Tucker just yapped for like 20 minutes without Piers there?
Well, I agree with what you said. We've already talked
it.
about it. I agree with what you said about it. Like he was trying to set a tone so that the viewers and I disagree with doing that. I don't think that you should do that.
What do you
There's
think,
no need
Silver?
for a tone setting.
I skipped it. I just went to the interview.
Smart. He did him dirty, bro. He spent 20 minutes saying a bunch of bullshit that Piers wasn't even there for. But that's how I view Candace. Like, she's there to sell a narrative. She's like a storyteller more so than an actual which I guess journalists are storytellers. But I don't think she's a principled journalist. I think she's there to sell a narrative.
100.
And
I agree.
Not actually. If she found something that was contrary to what she believed, I think she would either just dismiss it because it's inconvenient or because she doesn't agree with it because it disagrees with her. But I don't trust her to actually, report reality.
Well, that makes sense to me. I just don't know if I can call her dumb.
That's crazy.
Go
watch her address.
Smart.
Go watch her address.
I'll watch one. I don't know.
She destroyed those people. But
link whichever.
Like even with what you're saying, like you have to be
Congress,
smart to navigate your way through life like that. Like if what you're saying is true, and she's like, you know what, I've been presented with some evidence this goes against my narrative, so I got to go figure out another way to get this out of here. That's smart, bro. Whether you want to say it's like it might be malicious, but it's smart.
Pick one of the videos. I'll spend 2 hours of my life, or hopefully less. I'll fast forward.
I like Candace, man. Candace is dope. She's on one right now.
Well, which one?
Just watch it on Rogan where they argued about climate change, and she was end up right 7 years later.
Bro, it's not hard to crush Rogan on some factual shit. Like, I mean, no offense to the guy, but like,
But you're not. But you were on his side, aren't you? Don't you believe climate change is real?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just a fact.
It's not. They just recently said that the polar ice caps have grown by 1,000 miles, and even Bill Gates, who's the biggest advocate of it, said it's no longer an issue. What are you
Oh well, it
talking
might
about?
no
Like,
longer be an issue, but I mean, at the time they
we
were
fixed
arguing, it
it with all
probably
of our
was.
taxes. Get the fuck out of here, dude. That's
Well,
such
that's what I've
bullshit.
always said, by the way. I've always said, you want to talk about predictions? This is what I've always said. I've always said it might be a thing, but God
Well, you talk about people were
controls the
talking about
world.
the ozone layer for a while, and it was a problem because we were using these certain chemicals, right?
The
We stopped
hairsprays,
using the chemicals. Yeah, well, I
the
don't remember
hairsprays.
exactly what it was.
There was the hairsprays.
But it
That's
was
what
other
caused the
things
whole
too.
ozone.
It was used in refrigerant or something like that as well. Bro, come on. What do you mean? This is doing the thing. This is literally doing the thing of like describing something that factually happens and being like, oh, it's weird. It makes no sense. Like, yes, theoretically, the hairsprays could be causing problems. That's like saying, oh, leaded
Just like the
gasoline,
cow
just like
farts.
using gasoline is a problem. Like,
The
yes,
cow
leaded
farts.
gasoline is a huge problem, or was a huge problem, and has led to like the deterioration of like global IQs by like 10 points per person or some shit like that.
Okay,
Yeah, so
I'll
simple
leave you
things
with
can add
this.
up.
I'll leave you with this. You think hairsprays is a problem.
I
think,
didn't say I think
hold
hairsprays
on,
are a problem.
hold on. I think it's because our military shoots nukes off in the ocean over and over again to test them. That's way worse for the ozone layer. That's way worse for the climate. Oh, and by the way, anytime there's a volcano, go look at the stats on what happens when a volcano erupts and how much pollution that puts in the air. That's just enormous worse than anything any civilization could ever do. Like, it's nonsense, dude. It's just a way to do money grabs.
Yeah, but us
It's money
polluting more
laundering.
doesn't make like the fact that volcanoes also pollute doesn't make it okay for us to pollute.
No, polluting. I'm with you on pollution, 100%.
Me too.
Climate change is not a pollution thing. It's a lie propagated by foreign or by governments to take more money from you.
What is the claim exactly? Are you saying climate change doesn't happen, as in like the global climate is not increasing over time?
No, the way
you're talking about anthropogenic climate change is not a thing. Like people are not causing it.
The way they explain it, where I can't have my Mustang with no catalytic converters because it's bad for the climate. That's what I'm talking about. It's the propaganda around it and the money that goes into it. Go look up who promoted all this.
True.
It was Russia. It was Russia, so they could start utilizing their gas lines. They're the ones that paid for most of the studies that were showing climate change.
That doesn't inherently mean what they said was wrong. As loath as I am to defend Russia, like they could have actually been telling the truth. That's the thing about dismissing things just because of the source. You should dismiss it on the merit, not the source. Like I would never dismiss something.
We'll talk about this next time.
Okay.
My headphones are about to die. Sorry.
All right. Good. It was fun, y'all.
Yeah, that's a good one for next time.
Hell yeah. Had a blast. Take care, everyone.
Mucho love. Mateys.